What's going on, YouTube? We're out here at the Edenville Township Memorial Hall for the monthly May board meeting. What's happening, y'all? Been a minute since we've been out to this one, so we figured come on up and have a seat, see what's been happening up here. Stay along, hit that subscribe button.
And we're down to the 1 minute warning, folks.
That's I had my chainsaw out and everything. We're doing the trim at my house.
What's going on?
Okay. What number is that? What number is this?
No one ever calls it.
One was kicked in, and one was missing on the
Leave you out.
So I asked to get a couple more pieces of it, so they water down off.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Call the meeting to order.
Recording in progress.
And as you folks heard, we are recording the meeting. It's also being broadcast on Zoom. So if you do not wish to be recorded, I'll ask you to step outside. Welcome, folks. Today is Tuesday, May 12th, even though it seems more like maybe March 12th outside. I do know it is Michigan and it is the weather. This is Edenville Township's May board meeting. We've called the meeting to order. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd ask you please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening. We are praying for wisdom and grace that we may execute the business of Edenville Township in a just and righteous manner. Be with us and give us lots of forgiveness. I would welcome everyone to this month's meeting. Before we get to a welcome, I have to ask my colleagues on the board here, to the best of their knowledge, was this meeting properly noticed?
Yes.
Excellent. I believe so as well, but I'd like to check. Now I'm going to welcome everyone to the May meeting again. We have our budget workshop coming up at the end of the month, 2 weeks from this evening. You will recall at the end of April, we met and we reviewed last year's or this current fiscal year's expenses to see kind of where we were and what things were working out and what we could do better at. I've asked for my colleagues here to make sure they get things to me by next Friday.
May 22nd?
So that we can put it together for the meeting on the 26th on that. I would also ask, as we get down to the agenda, we might have a speaker here tonight to talk about some new things happening in the township, a Camp Valor, and depending on how that goes, we might want to give the public a second chance for public comment. So I would just ask you guys to consider that as we get down to the agenda section. With that, I welcome you all here formally. Madam Clerk, do we have a quorum?
I believe we do.
We've established our quorum. Thank you very much. Now I will open up the floor for public comment. Every resident is given an opportunity to provide up to 3 minutes of public comment. You may do so, raise your hand and you'll be called upon. We'd ask that you just provide your name and residence, and we'll hear what you have to say. Is there any public comment? Is there any public comment? Is there any public comment? Hearing none, we will close public comment at 6:34. I'm now going down to approval of the agenda. It was distributed. And then I would suggest that we add a 21D. If folks are agreeable to that, to give public an opportunity for second public comment.
A second though.
Okay. Let me do some typing here because I cannot type and talk quite as efficiently as you. Alrighty,
Do we need to approve that?
well, we go up to now, and I'm looking for someone to move to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
I'll second.
And that was?
Me.
Okay. All right, so all those in favor of approving the agenda as amended signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have an agenda. Next in your packet or the budget workshop minutes. Aside from the fact that the AI summary attributed a couple of comments to me that Jim actually made, and I tried to capture those. Kim, you helped me with clarifying some of that. They are essentially what was distributed to this group on that. And so I would look for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Any additions, corrections, comments, changes? Hearing none, I would ask those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have approved minutes. Thank you all very much. Moving right along, item number 10 is the treasurer's report. Kathy, I think you've got some more good news for us this month.
We do indeed. Let's see here. We'll start right there at the top. Line 1, township operations checking, beginning balance $207,000. The ending balance was $172,000. With that, there was insurance payment went out of $44,000 and other bills and payroll. And the line 2 business checking, that's our pass-through account to pay ACH. So you'll see that's pretty close to evening out there. Line 3, the fire operating checking began April 1, $18,000, ending April 30th, $11,000. That does include, as you can see under the receipts column, $7,500 for the sale of the Suburban. And then the disbursements include, of course, payroll. Line 4, Swanton Fund. You can see there's not much change there. There were some rentals that came in, $950, and then bills, and that includes some snow removal at Swanton Hall. Solid waste, you can see we have a beginning balance of $43,000, and the payment went out of $16,795 there in disbursements. And I think that payment will be going up slightly as the
Contract year.
Contract, yep. Per the contract, that ending balance is $26,000. And special roads, you can see that's kind of self-explanatory, the disbursements there. $700 for snow plowing. And let's move on down to the Michigan Class Investments accounts. You can see they're pretty, stable. My typo there on line 5, was a lower, interest earnings for that account, so I had to correct that. For total interest earning for April of all those investment accounts, $6,313. So we've gone up from, well, anyway, no, it's right in front of me. So last month, the interest earnings on those investments were $5,600, so we've gone up again. I won't go over those accounts, they're pretty self-explanatory. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Okay.
I just comment, I was kind of surprised, pleasantly so, that the Swanton Trust Fund actually performed quite well this past month.
Oh,
The-
below there, yes.
The equities, participated in what is otherwise a pretty strong market, so
Okay,
it actually,
you jumped ahead.
I did. It's the bottom of it, so.
That's all right. Well noted. You can see in the Swanton Trust Fund line there, change in market value increased $27,000. That's kind of unusual, but as was already said, the equities part of that went up substantially. So the beginning balance of the Swanton Trust Fund for April 1 was $420,000. The ending balance $448,000. Then our tax fund hasn't changed much from last month. So I won't go into any more of that.
Any questions for Kathy on the treasurer's report? Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion to move file. Accept this file.
Can you second? I think we're down to the bloody end here on ARPA. Is there any additional? Because I think all those, it's kind of the never-ending saga.
So this end of April 30th, there was another annual report due that was submitted by me. We may have one more in 2027, end of April. And we may know before that everything is hunky-dory for Edenville and hopefully no other issues or questions, not that there was any, but hopefully no other questions about that and that it passes through and we're good to go.
Cemetery report.
I wish Steve, our sexton, was here tonight, but he was unable to make it. I have many good things that he has passed on to me, and I think it's in the packet there. First off, there were the install of 5 headstone foundations, 2 in the old cemetery, 3 in the new. 3 monuments were set, 2 in the old, 1 in the new cemetery. Number 3 there, we've sent out 2 cemetery ordinance violation letters, and that was due to trees and shrubs planted on the grave site. And another one was some mulch and quite a bit of stone border was placed, and so we've asked for the removal of those. Then on number 4 there, we've had volunteer work. A family group came to the old cemetery and did some headstone cleaning. I'll get to that at the bottom there. But the Swanton Cemetery gate was repaired by family members. They also replaced some wood seat for one of the benches there that overlooks the ravine. There was a fallen headstone recovery and gravestone cleaning and family plot cleanup by, by a family, the Shaw family. They cleaned about 29 headstones in the old cemetery. What a blessing. We sure appreciate that. Then, coming up, cemetery will be tidied up for the Memorial Day weekend, including updating any veterans' flags at their burial spots. And then what Steve is working on is updating the veterans' information on the shared network. So that'll all be updated there, separate from all the rest of the history about our cemeteries. There will be some brush clearing and grass seeding along the west border. That was approved by us a month or two ago. And then there'll also be continued cleanup with the extra mounds of dirt and some brush that was piled up there along the Swanton Cemetery Trust fencing. There's a burial schedule for June 19th. There was an estimate received to remove the steel gates at the new cemetery. It was in the amount of $500, if that was something we would be interested in doing. On the contrast to that, there is a bid coming in. We know it's going to be substantially higher to prepare that, remove the paint and repaint it. So that's something coming up for.
Why would we want to remove those? What's the benefit to that? I understand we save money by not painting them, but are they doing some kind of benefit by being there?
No, actually, in the new cemetery, they're kind of it narrows the opening, and I think we're really fortunate that nobody's hit them through the years, but it has narrowed down the opening just in and out, but they really, I've never seen them closed, and I don't know the last time.
So I was gonna ask, they were obviously put there at some point to close the cemetery. When would we close the cemetery?
And I would not,
If we ever needed to.
if we ever needed to, I guess, but it's.
How long have they been there?
Oh, we had a new
Steve had
cemetery.
Steve had the information about when they were constructed and where it was done and everything, and I'm not sure what timeline it was.
That's fine. It was just a question.
Yeah,
It was just contextual.
they've been there a while.
Yes, I understand. Okay, thanks.
In the quote with the $500, they're gonna remove the poles or just the gates?
Everything. I think he was just gonna have them
They got
pulled
the
out.
poles
Yeah.
too?
Mhm. One thing about all of those gates, they have padlocks on them, and nobody knows where the key is. And they've been painted over, I don't know how many times, so whether we found a key or not, I don't think we can get the key in the lock, so they'd have to be cut off, and so it's something that we can look at maybe in budgeting coming up. You know, what's the plan for cemeteries, and is
Why
that
would
part
it
of?
cost $500 to remove them? We're basically digging up posts.
I don't know, I haven't seen that.
Okay, I can tell you right now. So
Oh.
the entrance gates there's from Hubble Metal Works in Coleman on September 5th, 1989. Gate for cemetery, and that was when the bid was put in for 3 gates in the old Curtis Road. These gates will be fabricated in my shop, so on and so forth. Gates were built using used pipe, so that's
1989,
1989.
they were installed. Now, the gate in the old cemetery where we kept that road closed because of it not being the best to drive on winter for sure, and if we continue to keep it closed, that would come in handy to close that gate.
We would repurpose these gates.
Those may be repurposed. One I could see at North Water Road on the old cemetery side. Is there a gate there at the? Oh, no, what we were thinking is at the road, the western road in the old cemetery that we've closed last winter, and it still remains closed, there is not a gate at the back end of that where it goes down the hill. That would be maybe a good use or reuse of one of those gates.
As long as they're gently taking them down.
What?
As long as they gently take them down, don't rip them out with a chain
Yeah.
or something, we don't wanna bend them.
Yeah.
I think until we get a quote for the paint, probably not an issue.
Yeah, it sounds
Five
extensive.
hundred seems high to remove those, but that's just.
I'm sorry?
500 seems high to remove that.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Gonna have another quote coming in,
I'm sorry?
you're gonna have another one coming in, quote,
We're hoping for the painting, yes.
Painting.
So we can.
Yeah,
do
we're
a
waiting for that.
comparison.
okay. And how's he doing with his operation? Okay, good,
Better.
good, that's why he's not here.
Well, sitting is not the best of it. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else from the cemetery?
What about this ordinance? Does that?
That's
come
later.
here? Okay.
Okay, Madam Clerk,
Okay.
your report.
So, well, it's not listed, I will put under my clerk's report that we, had an election in the township on May 5th. It went very well. We had about 180 individuals actually vote here at Swanton. And, just over 270 absentee votes were received. So we had about 24% turnout for that, school bond issue. We had a great group of election workers here. They showed up Monday and we did some pre-setup and kind of got organized, and then they were here all day, opening at 6 and closing about 9:30, which was when we took off to take the reports into county. So was really pleased with the outcome, very happy with everyone. Again, special thanks to those folks, and particularly Audrey Southcott, my deputy clerk. She did awesome. Next election will be August 4th. This is a primary election. Absentee ballots will go out about 45 days prior, so they should arrive around June 22nd or so. So it's happening quickly. If you want an absentee ballot, we do have applications at the office, but that is also available online. So if anyone would like to receive an AV ballot or join the permanent AV ballot list, please fill out an application. That's all for the general report. The review of bills, again,
Well, any correspondence?
I have pieces for next month.
Okay, well, review of bills.
Review of bills, we also, again, like with Kathy, she takes care of when the money comes in and I watch it go out. We spent roughly $50,000 this month. Notable was, we did have a solid waste fuel charge for the first time, in a while, and I do anticipate more over the coming months. So that was about $340 or so. Other things were just regular type, expenses. The fire department did purchase some gear, which was needed, so glad they were able to do that. With that was our bills for the month.
I take it
And
the
I'd like-
trustees have reviewed.
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to accept.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Jim? How about a roll call vote, Madam Clerk?
Okay, Starkey,
Yes.
Sperling,
Yes.
A. Peters,
Yes,
A. Peters,
Yes.
Pelzer, yes, thank you.
and we're gonna pay bills.
And next month, or excuse me, the end of this month and on May 26th, you'll get more detailed financial reports done. Saving it up for one shot.
We had a pretty extensive board review report last month, so nothing this month. I know the board will be meeting in July, for our July meeting, of the Board of Review. Roger, Fire Chief report, sir.
For April, we had 27 runs. We had 16 medical calls, 5 wires and trees, low hanging wire. We had 2 brush fires, we had a woods fire, we had a cancellation, and we had an unknown problem that we were called off on that one too. We have 231 is back and fixed.
That was the pump that was.
That was the pump getting fixed. It didn't take that long. They had all the parts, so that got back quick. Sean got his gear. I ordered I ordered 2 hoses, 1 3/4, 50 footers, and I ordered 2 2.5 foot 50 footers, and I ordered 1 5-inch 50 footer. Also, I'd like to ask the board to get another gas meter for Station 2 from Accurate Safety, $735.59. It doesn't have to be now, it could be next year, when we do our new budget, so just give you a heads up. Also, Charlie Johnson, he retired yesterday we gave him a plaque for 20 years, so he's all done, so. Anything
No, he continue on in some sort of a supportive role, or is he gonna?
He's gonna stay away from it, cause he loved the fire service, he really did. He just had enough. You got anything?
Fire Academy for Midland County is finished up for this year, and we potentially have 11 students. They're taking their testing now, so perhaps we'll have 11 new firemen coming up soon.
Wow.
Throughout the county.
Oh, okay.
Not ours,
I wish it was us, yes.
Throughout the county.
Any coming our way?
What's that?
Are any coming to Eden?
No, we did not have any go to the academy this year, no.
Can I ask a question that maybe everyone in this room knows the answer, but I do not? Can you help me understand what the gas meter is that you're asking for?
It's like for testing for natural gas, propane, and stuff like that. We get stuck and go into a house, they say they smell gas smells and stuff like that. We can use that meter to find out what type of gas it is.
Okay.
So it goes off, it beeps, says, get the hell out now.
Right, okay.
Okay, so that's for.
I would say, if the board is okay, I'd like to work with the clerk and see where we are budgetarily. And if we can fit it in this year, let's go ahead and pull the trigger on something like
We
that.
should know that on 26, where our budget's at, right?
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to shoot pipe from the hip.
Are you motioning for
Yeah.
that then?
We got money this year, let's use it.
I'll second that.
Right.
Okay?
Also, the DNR grant came out, but I never filled anything out for the DNR grant because the only thing we ever get from them was turnout gear.
Okay.
And, there's a lot of other stuff on here, but we never use that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah, I haven't seen that on the DNR grant.
I'll
There's
send
another-
it to you.
Okay.
It's every
There's-
year.
Yeah, there's another grant that kind of started and then stopped, so I'm waiting for it to restart again. It's the state of Michigan.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
Yeah,
The revenue sharing, is that
Yeah.
what you're?
I think that's what it was.
yeah, I think it's the revenue sharing,
The
yeah.
DNR grant we typically receive pretty regularly if we need something, so
Okay.
if we need it, it's not a difficult.
Those in favor of pursuing the secondary gas meter signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Since we're not actually spending money, we're just pursuing it at this point. Those folks didn't know. Okay. Super. Museum report, I didn't get one. Did you, any of you folks get one from Kathleen? Other than I know, even though it's May, it may still be just a tad chilly for them to be opening up, right, Marge? For that, I understand from Greg Eagle that we've had quite a very busy month for ordinance enforcement. I know the trailer that disappeared off the Bartholomew property was removed ultimately by our contractor, and it's now been disposed of. We have several other actions going on in the Maple Crest subdivision, and I will be working with Greg in the coming weeks to make sure we've got a smooth transition. As you guys all recall, he will be retiring at the end of the fiscal year, although because of some things going on, he'll probably be mostly winding down by the end of this month.
Yeah.
So we'll see where we go from there. I know we have a great recruiting committee and hiring committee to conduct some interviews. Hopefully we'll be lucky there. Parks and Recreation, I've left that as a tag team. I know, Kathy, you've got some beautification stuff going on, and Kim, you've got some other things going on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You wanna talk about this just a minute?
Yeah, well,
I'll talk about the gardening,
You go ahead and talk about
group.
that.
Well, actually, one of the projects that I took on was the Harper Park staining project of the stairway, down to the Tittabawassee. That is an event that will be going on May 22nd with, the help of Meridian High School students who will be coming to, as a service project for them. Let's see, we're at the stage of, scheduling pressure washing. We've started out with Plan A, we're now at Plan B on that. I went ahead today and purchased stain and some painting supplies. And I did that at Home Depot. And just for the paint alone, it brought down a 5-gallon pail from $220 to $168. So total bill was $1,500, saved about $345. So just about have everything there we need to go ahead with that project on May 22nd.
Kathy, just
Yes,
the
sir.
review I did on the benches and things at the park.
Yes.
We have one major on the top layer
Mhm.
bench, one's 141-inch board needs to be replaced.
Yes.
8 steps are split down the middle.
Mhm.
I talked to Art about it, we have the wood. And I talked to you about that stain, if the stain will cover new wood, because it's a permanent stain.
It's a
and
sealer as well,
Sealer
Jim.
also, yes.
It's
Okay, so we have
sealer,
8
stain, and
steps.
waterproof.
And then we have one down at the lower level, it looks like someone had kicked it in, it's on an angle coming in. And Art's got the size of that one, we have one handle missing on our bench on the lower by the water. And we're getting 2 board to block it off because our first 3 steps are now underwater. And I hope it doesn't go any higher, but that's the work we have to do before the 22nd. And bar washing has to be done somehow.
Yep.
Okay.
We're
They're
on
going to give you the wood that's gotta be replaced.
Mhm. Also with that, down there on the steps that are underwater, at some point, we'll probably want to consider adding or hiring a crane service to move the dock back into the water.
We'll have to wait and see where the water level
Yeah,
is.
let's give the
Oh.
water a chance to settle down. Cause
Okay.
it may,
So when do you propose we,
Next year.
Yes.
oh, really?
really,
All right, we'll put that on hold.
I wouldn't want it, because you're gonna have to have, if it's underwater, it's gonna have to have poles
Mm-hmm.
and bring it up, so it's not, cause you're gonna put your kayak down underwater to go into it. No.
Oh.
Cause your 3 steps are underwater presently.
But I think it was above that. It was above those
Now
bottom
you could walk
5
right out and go right
steps.
into your kayak, yes. It was pretty all even,
Even with that bottom platform is what it looks like in the pictures I see.
so we'll see what the water level does.
Okay, all right.
You want me to do that?
Anything?
Do the trash receptacles?
Sure.
Okay. So, yes, our trash receptacles that are currently in place, there's not really bags or anything that really accommodate them well. They either fall down, whatever, but anyway, also getting them emptied and the trash out to whatever trash can, whether it's here at Swanton or, down at, the parks. Anyway, we're gonna replace those with just, the regular, Republic's trash cans, and then they can just be rolled out to the side of the roads whenever they.
On Mondays.
On
if they're-
Mondays.
Yeah.
And, that includes, we're still gonna keep one at Harbor Park, right? There was a big chain there that kept it chained up.
No, there wasn't.
Oh.
The chain was for the picnic table.
Oh, okay.
And that's still
Still
there.
chained, okay. So
secured.
anyway.
But yeah, we'll add
we'll
one
have
to
them there.
Harbor and one to,
Yeah.
Cranston.
Anyway, I'll let you finish up, I thought that two pieces.
Well, and Kim and I attended the MTA conference, and we attended a session on parks, and they were pretty intent on letting us know that if we have equipment that's older than 5 to 10 years, playground equipment that's older than 5 to 10 years, we ought to have a warning sign up, play at your own risk, et cetera, et cetera. They were pretty strong emphasizing that. So we priced something out. I'm thinking we can get 2 signs for our 2 playgrounds. That'd be under $150 probably, or around $150 for 2.
And Crystal, if you, so we talked about getting a sign for the pavilion over here for, you know, so we could probably do something similar. I think they're kind of small signs, like.
That sign was already completed by Delta. It
Okay,
just
yeah,
needs to
where,
be
okay, we
put
just need to get it up. Okay, all
Right.
right.
But we don't have it.
It was student designed and created. And
Oh,
the
okay, is it
faculty
done
does
then?
it.
Oh, okay.
So,
If we get it, we can.
I'm surprised 150 for 2 signs. You can find signs on.
Well, they're
Amazon for-
pretty good
They're
sized
the
signs.
metal signs, I think it was, yeah, something like that, but anyway, they're custom signs, you can put whatever wording you want on it.
Yeah, you might just check Amazon. I find all kinds
Okay,
of
I'll check
cheaper
Amazon.
options there. You might check that.
So who's making the motion to purchase the sign?
I'd like to make a motion to purchase signs for the
Then-
I'll
playground.
second.
Yeah, okay.
What, in your, seminar, they just said if it's over 5 years, you need to have signs? Or what were they saying?
They were saying that,
Or can we have it inspected and see if we need it?
It's
Her-
so, especially Grandson.
Her emphasis-
Right?
It was an insurance company's seminar, so they were.
Oh, one of those deals, okay.
However, more than
Well-
likely, if we did have it inspected, formally inspected, they would probably require us to remove the equipment.
So
It's
play,
not,
notice, play at your
Doesn't-
own risk, metal signs,
Mhm.
Yeah.
$7.99.
oh, okay.
well, that's just that phrase on there, right? It doesn't have any of the, like, when we're open, sunrise to sunset, and we also saw one example that said, you know, under a certain age.
There's
Needed
longer ones with more
supervision.
detail,
Yeah.
multiple lines of information, again, $10, $9.99, 2 signs for 20.
I think
Unsupervised
let's
play
look
area.
and see, because I think we wanted to kind of keep green with white lettering, consistent with some of the other signs,
Yeah.
so.
Use play areas
Green and
rated
white
right,
leather.
2 for $18.79.
So if we just want, let's.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
We'll
It's on Amazon, I'm sure they can. I can send it to them, yes, but I.
Send it out.
Okay.
Well, we could approve up to an amount, maybe.
All right. how
Never
much
mind
would
the
you like?
difference.
I wasn't trying to be difficult, I was just
You wanna
thinking
say
$150 is a lot for 2 signs.
You wanna say up to
Just say-
$75 for sign?
Per sign?
No, total, for 2 signs. That'd be roughly 30,
Sure. They're probably gonna be up forever.
$37.50, yeah.
Do a roll call, Kim?
Okay. Kay Peters,
Yes.
Hauser, yes. A. Peters,
Yes.
Sperling,
It's up to 500, right?
No, up to $75.
$75.
Oh, for 75.
$75 for 2
Okay,
signs.
yeah, that's fine, yes.
Okay. Crystal?
Yes.
Thank you.
Alrighty, anything else from our Parks and Rec?
I guess just the gardening.
Yeah.
Would be, we were able to plant some marigolds there, between Water Road and M30, right in front of the office. It's on the, kind of on the boulevard there. It's a job keeping them watered. I realized that I probably went forward with those a little bit early. Probably shouldn't have been until closer to the end of May, just because it gets cold. But they're still alive, they're still surviving. Let's see, I guess the rest of that I'll just hold off. We're gonna have a meeting at the end of the month, Thursday, May 28th, at 6 p.m. at the township office. That'll be the gardening team, and anyone who wants to join.
Planning Commission, Mr. Potts,
Yes,
any words of wisdom?
well, we approved 2 checklists last meeting.
Okay.
So we wanted to bring those to the board and
That's item 21B,
Okay.
coming down the road.
have you approve those. If you would.
Anything else? I know we've got some wording you wanted, Crystal, and that's coming up later too.
I think the only other thing we would probably say is the language of our zoning ordinances that we're working on.
Right.
So hopefully in the next few months, we'll be hearing back from the planning commission, with a recommendation for updates to our zoning ordinance language throughout. It seems like it's gonna be a little comprehensive.
Okay. And then I guess I would say, anything else from the planning? Zoning Board of Appeals, Jim?
We have a hearing coming up, it's not scheduled yet, we're trying to coordinate, and I just asked if we don't have an alternate, if anybody would like to be an alternate for ZBA, if you're looking for one. We need to get some more information from our Madam Clerk to the members of the ZBA, because we know there's a meeting, but we have to have the data that goes along with it, so we gotta get that out to them. And we have one new member, got a new email, that didn't tell anybody until tonight, so we gotta get that to the clerk, so she has a chance to get it to him too, so that's about it.
Excellent. Old business, grant updates.
As I mentioned earlier, the state had they put out their application for their fire grant, fire equipment grant. It's through the state revenue sharing program. They yesterday sent an email out and said, we've got to change the eligibility criteria, so that's on hold right now. Hopefully we'll hear soon and we can get something in for that. It was mainly, the way it came out originally was mainly more of like a reimbursement grant. You had already needed to spend the money and then turn it in. And the due date was the middle of June. So I'm guessing now with the suspend hold change, they'll probably extend that.
We hope.
So we'll hope. Also, and I didn't do this under Parks and Rec, which I should have, but the grant from the state of Michigan, from DNR, to purchase the Vanderbush property to expand Granson Park. We're still working to get that purchase taken care of. We're hoping sometime in early June that will be finalized.
Well, hopefully they'll run out of forms for us to fill out. Okay. Anything else for grants? Any questions? Okay, item 20B. Kathy, we have a cemetery ordinance for us to consider.
Yes.
Do you have any comments you wanted to make, or?
Here's, not much change from what was in the packet
Originally, yeah.
originally last month.
Yes.
I guess I would just offer or ask any questions or anything.
I do, but I'm not sure if, and it's okay, maybe if I could reach out to Steve and ask, but just like, why will lots only be sold in lots of 2 or 4? Will there be 2 different prices, residents, non-residents? Just some, general questions.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with the ordinance itself, I just had some questions about that.
The sale of lots in 2s and 4s is what has been done traditionally. So you either, I don't want to put this right, so there's the lot, which is 4 grave sites. And so you either bought a full lot or a half lot. So the grave sites were sold in 2s and 4s.
Okay, the way it was worded, it made it sound
Yeah,
like if you were a
yeah,
single
it's-
person.
I have a problem. Sometimes they say lot and they mean 4, sometimes they, so I think that is something that has been on there.
Do we wanna update that verbiage in here?
It's
Because,
probably common knowledge in the cemetery language, it's
Well,
just not
yeah,
language I
and
This
see.
is going to the public though, this will be posted
what page,
eventually.
where was that, Crystal?
It's right under section 2.
Oh, okay, where it says the definition.
Mhm.
Oh.
It's fine, I'm not familiar with that language.
It's been a precedent here, they sell it in 4s.
I understand, right,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
I-
purchased, the way it was worded here, maybe,
It's
it's fine.
So, one of the things is through the years, and the next one about single burial spaces are available but must be approved in advance by the Edenville Township Board. We're starting to see, singles pop up here and there, because over the years they've been approved to just take a single, and then nobody's ever filled in around them, so, there may be more opportunities to sell lots if we can offer up just some single lots a little, over time, and I think that's gonna take an assessment of how many single lots we have, again, wrong words, single grave sites that we have and not that are in a plot already. So I think those are some things that need to be assessed, is what can we do. Also, a change down on under, so, I'm sorry, Jim, did you have?
No, just, the section that's not totally developed yet, okay?
Right.
New section is not in there. Could we look at that? There's gonna be people that only want
Mm-hmm.
one site. Because if you have 4 together, and then somebody wants to come in, you're gonna have 2 different names on the same plot area. So we might look at, can we separate it someplace?
Right,
And have a
okay.
couple singles there.
Yeah, and we talk in, like a grave site number 236 or plot number 236, grave site A, B, C, and D. And so we could just sell 236D.
Right.
And do that. So those are some things. There's also some space, there's some, other spots over like on the west edge, I believe it is, that are kind of, they're not, yeah, the new cemetery.
The one that's not developed is not totally drawn out yet, is it?
Yes, it is.
It is totally
Yes.
drawn out now?
Mhm.
Okay.
So anyway, so those, there's some spots over there that it might be, people, have some singles over there that we could sell.
Because that way you're gonna have to hit 4 headstones. This way you're gonna look at it.
Potential.
Yeah,
Could be.
in some sites, in some plots, we do have 4 different headstones
Yeah.
already,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think we've got a whole bunch of ordinances that we're teeing up, and just submit these all and have them kind of gone through by the attorney
Yeah,
at the
Yes.
same time would
we
be
do need that.
my recommendation, and then we'll go through our formal hearing or whatever kind of process we need. I know Crystal Planning's done a lot with zoning, and they're looking at dusting off some things. I think that would
I think, yeah, because,
be the right thing, and that way
Mm-hmm.
we can have a master ordinance or put together some sort of a
Mhm.
flyer with an index tab kind of thing. So, we'll just tee that up and hopefully get all that done, maybe by the end of summer, I don't know, depending on how quick we get all the other.
Mhm.
But you guys good with that approach?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Forms and fees, we have the new zoning review and, what do you call it? 20C on page 19, the new application for zoning land use review. With that is the form that was drafted. I think it's actually been reviewed once at the planning commission. It was drawn up largely with input from a lot of folks, but Greg Eagle took and did a lot of the heavy lifting on this. With that, I'm unaware of any feedback from anyone here on that. But would suggest that we tee this up and have this included with all of our other ordinance reviews as we do that, if you folks are okay with that. I do like the name of changing it because we've run into a lot of confusion with residents thinking that they filled out that land use permit and that was the only permit needed to go forth and build. And so we've had a couple of, dare I say, rogue programs going awry. And so hopefully this will clear some stuff up.
And there never was a permit, if you will,
Nope.
issued.
But because of the title of the document,
It
people
said permit, yeah.
took, well, people hear what they wanna hear sometimes.
So I guess with that note at the top of this, draft, it does have permit number. So we probably should,
We'll change
Change
it to,
that.
yeah, application
Yeah.
number or something.
yeah,
Definitely application number, yeah.
And,
Good.
but we'll have the attorney kind
Terry's okay.
of sort all that out. If you guys are good with that, just do it one time. I think we'll just get a bulk rate maybe, hopefully.
Question, Irv, did you take a look at this document? The application for zoning compliance land use?
Yep.
I think you did, okay,
Yeah, we brought it to the planning commission.
okay, just wanted to make sure you had.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, good, I didn't know.
Okay, we will be recommending, and what I will do is have a list of all of our fee structure, and we'll have that at the, GAA budget workshop, rather than trying to do something outside of the GAA dealing with finances. I thought we'd just loop it all into one time, make this go a little quicker, but that take a little longer. With that, Crystal, you wanna do some master plan status and then some proposed wording?
Sure, thank you. Or feel free to chime in. I think one of the things that we discussed at our last our last planning commission meeting, was including a sentence somewhere in the beginning of the master plan, and Kim and I worked together to find it on page 7, just after the third paragraph, to include, a sentence that, describes our township kind of goal as a whole. Greg had talked about including a blight ordinance in the master plan, and we thought this might be a more holistic approach to, encompassing what that could be without including that there. And instead keeping the specific ordinances in our zoning ordinances. So Kim and I came up with some language, much to my chagrin, ran it through AI. And here, this is the sentence we came up with to include there. It's true. At the end of paragraph 3 on page 7 of the master plan is where we thought would be the best placement for that based on Greg's recommendation and the planning commission's, recommendation.
Go ahead and read it.
I sure can. The master plan reflects our collective promise to maintain a vibrant, welcoming lake community that supports recreation, stewardship, and neighborly pride.
And I assume you're making that motion, and I will second it.
All right, thanks.
Any other conversation about that? This is kind of rather straightforward. Let's just do a simple voice vote. Those in favor of adopting that, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Super. New business, 21A. Edenville has been contacted and Swanton Hall reserved by the Midland Amateur Radio Community for their field day emergency testing operations. It'll be here at the end of June. It's the last Saturday in June. Board will all be receiving invitations. We've invited the county commissioners as well as the sheriff and the emergency manager to that. They have asked for us to approve a proclamation declaring the last week of June and then the last Saturday of the month as Amateur Radio Day. It's kind of standard verbiage taken out of their national organization. And so I'm making a motion to adopt resolution 2607. The verbiage is down at the bottom of the package there. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any
How many
questions?
members they have?
I'm sorry?
How many members do they have?
There's about 40 active members, and there's about 200 licensed amateurs in the Midland County.
Oh, good.
This will be both a test of their ability to set something up, but also an outreach. So we'll probably be inviting the fire departments, not just in Edenville, but probably throughout the county, all the other townships to show up and if they want to see the first responders. Sure. On that. So, Kim, you want to do a roll call for us?
Sure. Kay Peters,
Yes.
Hauser, yes. A. Peters,
Yes.
Sperling,
Yes.
Starkey.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, a zoning ordinance checklist. I was asked to put that on the agenda. It's on the agenda.
Thank you. You wanna take it?
Sure, I don't have it in front of me, but,
Two separate checklists.
yeah, so the planning commission looked at, two separate checklists. One is for verbiage around, zoning ordinances to change verbiage, and one is to add, recommendations for marinas, et cetera. To, so if somebody wants something to come into the, community, they would go through the checklist, submit it to the planning commission, and we would vote on it.
One's for zoning, ordinance text amendment, and one is for a rezoning. What we're finding is that folks were struggling with the process.
So it's kind of a map to get through that. Okay, that's great. First of all, I think it's a great idea
Yeah.
because candidly, it is not the most clear thing in the world.
And we haven't had one, so we thought this would be beneficial and help.
Could we, since it is our first time and we're already sending,
I was assuming this was part of the package that we're sending off to,
could you include that, please? Thank you.
I think we'd be silly not to.
I would appreciate it. Just to review, because we looked at it, but also without having one, so we don't know what holes or gaps may exist in the way that they're designed until we go through the process, but legal would probably know that.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's easy. Next, this past week's been kind of an interesting week, folks. Understand that, a gentleman, Mike Brandau, perhaps was that you, sir? No?
He's not here.
He's not here.
Not here.
He promised to be here this evening.
Oh,
And he told folks he was going to come and explain to us. Apparently, he pulled together a grant or some sort of a working relationship with the Department of Natural Resources to get one of our DNR parcels classified for his use for some sort of a rehabilitation camp. Put signs up, and I'm going to tell you folks, I thought I knew what a blown up mailbox and voicemail was like, and I clearly was wrong. I've heard more about this than I have the Four Lakes Task Force, waterfront assessments, trash pickup, and you name it, all in one. This has certainly been a very intense week. We had talked to him and asked him to come speak. He claimed he was going to be here. We wanted to give him a chance to discuss here to the residents. By his admission to me, he purposely didn't engage anybody because he didn't want anybody to ruin his deal. That's pretty much a direct quote. And so I know that folks have been working with the DNR. I believe his permit has been suspended at this point, but I have not seen that in writing. This is kind of secondary hearsay, but it's what I believe to be the case. I do know that the signs announcing the creation of this Camp Valor have been taken down at this point. I believe that was done by the Department of Natural Resources. So we will pick up 30 minutes off of our agenda. Should Mr. Brandau reach out to us, we would probably welcome a conversation to at least understand what he is trying to accomplish there on that. So that is in abeyance. I will open up, because we agreed to put some public comment in should folks show up. I think there might be one or two residents here that might be interested in saying something, but maybe not. We will open up for public comment at 7:30. Is there any public comment? Is there any public comment? Is there any public comment? I guess no one has anything to say. It is now 7:30, and we will be closing public comment one more time.
Maybe we can hear from our county commissioner, anything going on in the county?
Business as usual. Do you have any questions? Busy? There's a commissioner that has stepped down, so we're going to choose a new commissioner at our next board of commissioners, as per statute. And trying to think. The lake's back. I've heard a lot of positives, a lot of nice information. Of course, it did bring out a lot of emotions too, so I've heard from all sides. But I hear that people are just so relaxed to see the ripples and the reflections on the water. Like, it's just been very positive. People are buying patio furniture and they're excited, and
I've seen boats out on the lake.
Yep. So
Those are
all
brave
good things.
souls.
And so we have some before and after pictures of our county parks, and so the ramp is up to specs as per other boat ramps, where ours was a little short last time, and it's still curing, and I guess it cures better underwater, so I didn't know that, and so it will be curing a long time. But the beach is already it's really beautiful if you haven't saw it. And then the paving is set to go in soon. Like, it's all on track to be open Memorial Day, but we don't want to rush it, right? We don't want people parking on it if it's not ready, but everything's ready. And then I'm not sure if you're aware, so when Four Lakes was cleaning up and when they were doing some of their things in the city, the village of Sanford, instead of taking that road out, which would cost money, and it was a lot to put it back the way it was, they made a deal with the village to put another, to leave that how it is and put a nice ramp in there too. So there'll be 3 access points. So let me know if you have any questions. That's just some of the stuff going on right now. And our clerk left too, but that's been all over the news. So, taking applications for those two. They did the last interview today, so.
No, Kim, you can't.
No, thank you, I don't want.
Time for board comments.
A couple things, in looking at the Harper Park over there, the steps are underwater. It could be a very, that's why we're gonna block them off, could be a very dangerous situation, because they'll get moss on them or something that makes them very slick. We don't have any kind of step pads on them, they're just wood, and if they stay wet very long, they'll get some algae growing on them, and then you can see somebody stepping on those, so we're gonna block those off for sure. You talked about the kayak, and if the water stays like it is presently, or even comes up a little bit, with the rainfalls that we've had lately, we may have to go to polling if we wanna keep that kayak launch. You know, put them on poles where it stays high, you know, it's just something to think about as we go down the road, you know. And, the monthly reports this month on dollars look pretty decent, okay? I think some of them, we're getting used to the new forms, and they're terrific. They are easy to go through, except when I find a check missing.
Oh, yeah, well, or check number wrong.
Did find one missing. But very good, we're enjoying going through those now, it's a lot easier, and, it's more pleasurable, let's put it that way.
What do you think?
No comment from you, I have no comment.
Well, I just take a few moments and again, thank everyone here. This is a great team. I am just continually humbled by how well we're all kind of pulling together. This has been a great experience. Even when we get some surprises and hiccups along the way, everyone picks up pieces and folks have their back, and it's really makes it an enjoyable experience. I want to thank you, but I also want to thank the residents, because even when we've had a couple of really interesting situations crop up, folks are there to sit and help. And so it may not be the sexiest or craziest thing out there, but it is really kind of nice, and it's, for me, it's very rewarding to see folks pull together and helping each other out. So thank you all very much. With that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Who wants to move and who wants to second?
I'll second.
Okay. We stand adjourned at 7:36.
All right.
Recording stopped.
Hey, Jackson, how's
How you doing?
You've been out on
There you have it, folks. Getting out of this meeting, not a whole lot, nothing real special. A couple things, you know, like you want to spend $150 on some signs that, like the trustees said there, pull the rate up, 10, 12 bucks, something like that. $500 to get some gates removed. It's probably not a bad price. Probably concreted in. I'm sure there's some scrappers out there that would love that. They're all steel old pipe, so I'm gonna pass the word on to some people I know. Maybe they can put a bid in for a little bit cheaper. We'll see. Appreciate you guys watching. I come out here to do this stuff for you guys, you know. For you guys that can't get out here and watch these come and sit down at these meetings. For the places that don't live stream, this one does. You can check them out. They're on Zoom. The link is on their web page. Till the next one, keep it real out there, y'all. Thanks for watching.